Hey y'all, hello. I just thought I would do a video on how I keep my black Mustang looking fresh and some tips and tricks. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. I just covered up my plates over there. So anyways, because I don't show my car like straight on or from the back very often. But I am the third owner. This is a 2013 Ford Mustang V6 Premium. It's all stock, except I got the upgraded 18-inch larger wheels. It's got the little side louvers there on the back window. And one of the previous owners threw in a short throw shifter kit. So it's so much fun. Even when I've had the car taken in, people just love when they have to go to move the car around. But everything else is stock radio, stock interior. Yeah, and so I just want to go over a few things here. So when you have a black car, you want to really minimize touching it and washing it. And if you can go touchless as much as possible. Now this paint was not pristine. This is an older car, and I don't know how good a quality here in my camera, but you can see there's lots of little dings, and it's got some little chips here and there that they've done touch-ups on. And there's even some where you could see the white from the undercoat there. But what I would recommend is, if you can afford it, to have a ceramic coat put on. And this is for any car, not just black. But what they will do, make sure you really research the place. You want them to buff it and do as much prep work as absolutely possible. Get out as much swirls and scratches and dings. They can buff most of that out before they ceramic coat it. The ceramic coating is not the same as a wrap. It just basically, if you think about if you've ever got a car waxed, it's much more permanent, and it is a different process with the ceramic, but it basically helps your paint to become impervious to water. It helps minimize sun damage, UV damage, and oxidation. So this car, I mean, and it's dirty. We just got back. We were on the road probably about an hour, and I haven't washed it recently. But I will tell you what I do but when I take it out. And I have left, so you can see down there on the under panel, and then what gets kind of blown in from driving. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so we get a lot of rain. And I live out basically in a forest, so we get tons of pine needles and stuff. But what I would recommend for keeping your car clean and looking as beautiful as possible, so if you can afford it, first and foremost, get a good buff ceramic coat. That's going to take care of the vast majority. Then go touchless as much as possible. And that doesn't mean you don't clean it. That doesn't mean you don't actually touch it. But you're not just using a bucket of water and some dish soap and the same washcloths that you use when you take a bath or to scrub your face or whatever, or your kitchen counters. You're going to really look into what the best soaps are, the best techniques for applying soaps, and the best chamois and super soft fiber type sponges and towels and things like that, so that when you do touch your car, it is going to immediately absorb any debris, any water, and you want to get it off the car as quickly and gently as possible. So that's what I mean. So research that. I did before I really started messing with my paint here. And so when you do clean your car, you're going to want, especially if it's a black car. See, I live on these country roads. We get a lot of dirt and pine needles and stuff. So these are little things when you are washing your car. You're going to make sure that you're getting up into your underwheel wells. When you're doing your final detail, you're going to get all these little cracks and crevices in your doors. and you're going to wipe it out. But literally, I have it down to about 20 minutes, y'all, after I take this car out. Another tip I want to give real quick to keep with you, I'm going to show. So you need to get you some spray, and there's lots of different brands. I actually really do like the Chemical Guys, most of their stuff. But they have these wipe for touch-ups. Like whenever you go to your car and coffee meet and you parked and you want to get the fingerprints off. The other biggest, like, I don't know, this cost me like 30 bucks off of Amazon. You want one of these little blowers. It's like a leaf blower. So get you a blow dryer for your car. And then I have a lot of different, like this is just something I got probably from Costco or Walmart. Right? These kind of generic type lintless chamois, but invest in some higher quality ones that are ultra absorbent, lots of fiber to help trap the dust, and also make sure you know which ones you use where. So that's what I'm going to go over real quick here. So like, let's say it was raining, you get back, your car is relatively clean, but it's wet. You're going to want to use that spray, and you're going to want to gently wipe, and you start top to bottom. And you also don't clean your car in circular motions, straight wipes. So just wipe it like you're wiping, I guess you're cleaning your glass, your windows, okay? So you do, and the same thing, like your hood, you're going to just do straight as you're wiping your spray and the water off. So that's if your car is relatively clean and you're just doing a touch-up. You don't want to let water air dry, especially if you got a black car. It will leave spots. So how I've kept this car looking with this mirror polish, even when it's dirty like it is now, it's got a layer of dust and pollen and road dirt on it, but it looks so good. It's these techniques. So don't let water dry, even if it's rain. I mean, obviously, if you're out for the day, don't fret. You know, you're parked in the city or something. But you're going to want to try to keep it as dry as possible. So when you get home, if it's wet, but it's relatively clean and not like visibly covered in dirt, you can use that spray and your softest chamois and do straight lines and dry it off, wipe it down, okay? Start top to bottom. Check your towels, turn them frequently. If you see dust and dirt on your towel, turn it to a clean spot. And do not use, when you're wiping down there, see all of that? You don't want to do that first and then drag all of that. You're going to be grinding all of that sand and dirt and leaving. You may not notice it at first, but over the weeks, months, years that you own your vehicle, you're going to be grinding little grooves and scratches into your paint. So just a few techniques. The other thing, if your car is really wet, use that blower. Carry one with you, or at the end of the day, if you have a ceramic coat or a good wax job, the water beads up and it would just blows right off. So that blower is going to take care of most of the work. And the final thing is, when you actually do wash your car, do not take it to a car wash. Wash it in your driveway. Put in the time and the elbow grease. You are going to hose your car down first. Spray it. Some people say it's totally fine to use a pressure washer. I personally wouldn't, unless it was set to a very low setting. But just your regular hose, even with your thumb on the end, if you don't have a water gun or something, you're going to want to spray your car down really well first and try to blow as much of this debris off and dust and mud. Okay, then if you're able to afford it, get a foam cannon. A foam cannon. You're going to spray your car down with the foam cannon. It's just an attachment that holds soap that goes on the end of your hose and nozzle. And you're going to foam your whole car. Okay, and you're going to let that sit. Then you're going to rinse it again. That is going to do the majority of the work, just those two things. Rinsing your car and then foaming it and then rinsing it again. Then you foam it and you can wash it by hand if you have a very small or a very soft, delicate mitt that's made. It'll be basically the same material as those chamois that I showed you. Okay. Once it's clean and you've done that, and the same technique goes for washing it. You're going to do straight, back and forth. You are not going to do swirls and circles. It will show up on black paint especially. Straight lines are the way to go. It refracts less light. The human eye does not pick up the straight lines and scratches in especially black paint as much as they will circular marks. So it's just a technique and a trick to basically use. You are going to be damaging your car and the paint no matter what. Whenever you touch it, drive it, there's microscopic damage that occurs and it builds up over time. But these are like little techniques you can do to really prolong the life and the look of your paint, even when it's dirty. I mean, you can see the huge difference here. Like the little mud down on the under panel there. Yeah, versus the mirror finish here. So yeah, just follow these techniques, blow dry it, get as much of the water off, then get the hugest towel. And I thought I had one in my trunk, but it's probably drying somewhere. They make really giant chamois that are super absorbent, and you basically just throw it flat up on top and then lightly drag it down, and it just stays flat like a big rectangle, and you just do it in straight lines, or you can do it across this way. I'm short, so I can't, you know, I gotta you do it as easy as possible. But my hood, definitely, I throw that chamois towel and then I pull it this way gently down the hood, and I just let the weight of the towel do the work. I don't use my hand, and I'm not scrubbing and buffing and drying it that way. So I hope that makes sense. And I just want to say too, real quick, for your interior, absolutely get rubber mats. I took out the original. They were in like new condition. I have them stored away. Do not ruin your mats. Get the rubber ones. They're very easy to clean, and there's just no comparison to how you can, you know, prevent damage to your interior. And then the other thing, always have some wipes in your vehicle that you can spot clean when you're out and about. Those, like, just doing that right there is going to go a long way. And then, I mean, we don't all get to choose what car we have. If you're lucky enough, or if you have the option, get leather or get vinyl. Of all the vehicles I've owned over the years, I've never, like, I guess, had serious issues with vinyl or leather. There are trade-offs. The seats are slippery, more slippery, and they're hotter in the summer and colder in the winter. But other than that, they stay looking good even when they get damaged, or like over time, especially if it's leather, the more wrinkled it gets, it just adds to the character and it adds to the suppleness of it. This one actually has a little cut there, but I mean, if this was fabric, you know, it would be terrible. But that can be repaired, or you can, you know, I could put a marker or something across that and you wouldn't even see it anymore. But I wanted to point that out. Like, that is a big difference. So, you know, if you're shopping for a vehicle, especially if you're going to go black, yeah, black shows, you know, I don't let my dogs in this car, which they hate. They get very jealous of. We have the family vehicles, but yeah, don't, you know, if you got a black car, keep your pets out. You know, your kids, you're going to have some set rules about food and drinking, because it's going to show every hair, every spill. But if you set yourself up for success in advance, and I mean, you can get seat covers, you know, your grandma covering her couch with plastic or some doilies. There's a reason, there's a method to the madness. You know, you want to prevent damage. And I just want to mention too, real quick, because I know this video is getting long, you can actually get the interior of your vehicle ceramic, and that's what I did. When I got this car, it was in such great condition. It had always been kept garaged. It looks brand new. It drives brand new. It's had a bit over 60K miles on it, but I kind of felt the responsibility. It had a clean Carfax. It's had no damage. You know, I wanted to take good care of it, and I wanted to preserve the paint as much as possible. And I did look into wraps. Wraps are, you know, $5 to $8 grand, and that's starting. That's not anything terribly fancy. And wraps can actually damage the paint. But if you just, you know, invest $1,000 to $2,000, I know it sounds like a lot, but it'll go a long way to maintaining the beauty of your car. And having black vehicles, there is a learning curve to keeping them looking fresh and polished. And I mean, even while I just took this out and it's an overcast day, the roads are still slightly damp. We have to drive down quite a bit of a muddy dirt road getting in and out. It don't look too bad. Yeah. I thought I'd show a little bit more. So many Mustangs, especially the newer years, are automatic. So it is, you know, what can I say? I'm one of the lucky ones here. There's the clutch pedal. In case people don't believe me, but yeah, they do have manual ones out there. Another thing I want to mention, and I'm going to end the video. So some of the cars, you know, this is a 2013, it's a little bit older. If you use chargers, do not leave it in plugged in to your outlet there for direct current. If you see that, that is drawing a phantom load, and that has drained my battery. I have a similar one in another vehicle. I didn't realize that they weren't the same when I ordered this one for this car. The other one doesn't do that. When you turn the car off, it turns off, but this one keeps drawing. So you're going to want to take these out if you have, okay, because I learned that lesson the hard way. The other thing I'll mention real quick, and I probably just should do a straight video about it, like a little short one. This shaker system, it's great. It's fine stock, but the issues that they have is connecting the Bluetooth. If you live in a rural area like I do, you have a heck of a time getting a signal anyway. So even if you are connected to your system through the Bluetooth, your music, if it's, you know, coming off YouTube or something like that. So if you can download your playlist, that way you don't need a signal on your phone or your iPod, okay? They have in the little cargo here, the console, it's a male jack. If you get off, you can order these off Amazon. Get a cord that's a male to male, okay, for your auxiliary. And you plug it in there, This goes into your phone, okay? This is what I do. And then you got your phone mounted or whatever you do, or if it's your iPod or MP3 player, okay? It's auxiliaried into your system now. You turn your radio on and just hit your auxiliary, okay? It's going to play off your MP3, off your phone. That's what I do. I quit trying to mess with connecting to Bluetooth on my phone. Every time I did it, it was like doing it for the first time. I swear to God, it's such a process. Sometimes it'll link, sometimes it won't. It's a pain in the ass. This is a game changer. It's very old school, old tech, and it is literally the easiest thing. Get you a male to male. Has two of these on each end. One on each end, okay? I hope that makes sense. And then use your auxiliary right there, okay? But you have to turn the volume up all the way on your device because your device is kind of guiding the volume. So if you're like cranked up your volume all the way and it don't sound very loud, it's because you need to turn the volume on your media up. So your phone or your, you know, if you have one that has a volume control. I hope that makes sense too. Just crank it up all the way on your phone, which is what I do. And then I can control it up or down better with that. But I will say one last thing. I've made the mistake of having it way loud. It didn't sound terribly loud through the auxiliary. But once my phone was disconnected and I went back to listening to a CD, oh my God, it about blew my eardrums out. So yeah, you're going to want to remember to do that. So just like when I'm done driving, I pull my charger out. I make sure I turn the volume down before I turn the radio off and disconnect my auxiliary. But yeah, anyways, those are just a few tips and tricks how I've kept my car looking good, tried to maintain the integrity of it, and enjoy it when I'm driving, because I don't plan on ripping anything out of this car and doing any upgrades. I'm kind of like satisfied with it all being stock for various reasons, resale value, you know, just it holding its investment value for the future and kind of maintaining the integrity. And I don't mind the hard plastic interior. This is pretty shiny and can be blinding. You're going to want to make sure that when you do clean it, it's with something that will not shine. You don't want your dash, especially a black car. It'll look like a mirror just like the outside, and it'll reflect light right into your eyeballs when you're driving. But I like this. What I can say is I've had vehicles for many years. I'm very rough on them, and I have children, I have dogs. Like over the years, like the better the interior is in terms of it not being delicate, it's going to continue to look this good in the future, if you catch my drift. And yeah, getting leather or vinyl if you can, or if you have fabric, just put seat covers on, cover your steering wheel. You know, like you could see here, there's a little bit of some kind of scratch mark, you know, so I guess, yeah, y'all know what I mean. Anyways, I'll stop rambling. Take care. Bye.